go. That's right. The mics are hot, but I'm hottest. Welcome to Marvel Movie Talk. Here we are continuing our exploration of the Great Wonder Man on Disney Plus. We are only talking about episodes 5 and 6. Oh, but that means, dagnabbit, we are close to the finale, which we'll let you know about very soon. As always, I am Christian Blatt, joined by Katie Hampton.
Hello.
And the prettiest wonder at all, which it's weird because the one word that people called you in high school was not wonder. I believe they compared you to powder,
with a little more hair.
A little more hair, yeah.
Where it counts.
In any case, I just wanted to make you nervous to think I was going to say a different word. It is here. It is time to talk about episodes 5 and 6 after, I would have to say, the tour de force that was episode 4, Doorman. Our buddy Nate Miller has been working too much to join us, but I traded messages with him, and he talked about how tremendous that episode was. He thinks it might be his favorite episode of any Marvel show that they've done.
Yeah, and I assumed.
It's not crazy talk. I'm not ready to say that, but Daredevil season 2 on Netflix. Matt and Frank just sitting and talking in the cemetery is still going to be number 1 for me, but it was way up there. So we dive into episode 5, and Katie, are you disappointed that we were no longer in Pacoima?
No, but I was very happy that we're back in LA and Hollywood because they went through some of my old stomping grounds in this episode, in episode 5. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah. I have an image.
Ripley Museum. Did you used to frequent that?
The which one? Sorry?
The Ripley Museum.
Hey, wait, Eric. Believe it or not, she did.
No, but I was walking down and back and forth because IO, Second City, IO and Second City were on Sunset. Yeah. Very close to there. Very walkable, especially if you're taking the train. Yay, public transportation.
The Hollywood and Highland stop. It made it possible. I wonder if anyone's ever taken the Metro to the Academy Awards there at what used to be called the Kodak Theater. I guess it's the Dolby Theater now.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, I once went to a presidential debate there, and it was Obama and Hillary. It was advertised as John Edwards as well. He wasn't running anymore by then, but they had to close that. They couldn't have the subway operating underneath there when you have people running for president. It was considered too high risk.
That makes sense. Sense. I'm so curious about how the Olympics are going to go, but yeah.
What would the concern be? Why would people be worried about the Olympics?
Easy peasy.
Yeah, super easy. But this episode, especially not just for like it being in Hollywood, old Hollywood stomping grounds, even a club that I vaguely remember because I was very drunken, that they go to, but the box breathing stuff. Like not only is that like a really great actor technique, yes. Eric, do you teach this to your students? Because I feel like you should, because it's also a really good anxiety technique too. It's a psychology thing.
I did try it myself, actually, as I'm watching. I'm like, shit works.
And if you're trying to fall asleep and you can't fall asleep, this is what I've been using a lot lately because news is always in my eyeballs. But if you do you breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, even if it's like a 3-second, that helps you fall asleep as well because it lowers your nervous system's anxiety responses.
I could use that.
We do that. We've done that with my kids. I do that with my daughter sometime. I don't remember where we picked it up from, but it was definitely a kids show, and I believe they called them belly breaths, and it's a very similar thing. But it is also. Look, we could all take a breath once in a while and try to, slow down this thing called life. In fact, I invite everyone in the audience. Let's go ahead and let's take a breath. And we're back. Oh, that was great. Oh my God, I felt so good after that breath. I don't know about all of you. I could
the podcaster breath.
I could douse myself in Loki sauce.
Oh no, Eric fell asleep.
Oh no!
Too much box breathing.
Right on the
No.
microphone. Let's
Loki sauce.
start off by talking about found footage. So now we understand found footage, of course, is the title of the episode. I don't know if Eric got nervous talking about some footage we might have found had we cracked open that old 2006 laptop, but that's not what we're talking. That's not this.
That's
show.
called shared. That's called shared footage. Actually, it's a very different thing.
Cloud footage.
That's the
If we
intervention.
found it was never lost.
That's the intervention we'll be doing on another show on Sunday. So found footage, we're dealing with sort of the repercussions, understanding the doorman rule. And, we get to see a little bit more of Simon's powers. But Katie, not that much.
Not that much, but it is like I do love the fact that they have that moment, because I feel like that's what every superhero like TV show watcher is looking for, is the superhero, amazing stunt fight situation. I did love that, but I love that the transition between episode 5 into episode 6 is like slowly gaining color or whatever. But then we're also getting the knowledge after coming from Bakoima that they have this callback for this big movie. And you're kind of seeing the theme of the movie play out throughout the episode and through the consecutive episodes coming forward, because we get that beautiful scene where they're in the car and they finally get the sides for their callback. And it's a scene where Barnaby betrays him, which is exactly what the Mandarin is doing. And it's so perfectly, like, I love that they're showing us what the like big picture movie is through these episodes and the themes of them.
Well, I also love that, Simon's like, not now. I can't worry about it. Look, we got to find this guy. Barnaby betrays him. I mean, not literally. Thank God they didn't have that sound effect. But he pulls over. He's like, wait, no. And he's that invested in the character, as we've seen through the earlier episodes. Eric, how many times have you veered off from busy traffic to read a script?
I mean, why stop? I mean, if it's a busy enough traffic, you just
great point.
Or have a PDF reader. Actually,
no, you just do it like this.
The one unrealistic thing about that was that there was a parking spot that they could pull off to.
Yeah.
Like,
I believe everything else. I believe in powers, but not in finding parking on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, exactly.
I completely agree. That's where it becomes sci-fi.
So our buddy Daniel Drew nails it. Pulled over to read the sides, but he's his only friend. And it's like, hashtag too real. By the way, I'm seeing that we're putting this on vertical for people who might want to watch things that way. And what I didn't realize is that the comments go up top, not down low. So a lot of times you'd be like, oh yeah, look down there. Depends on how you're watching us. You might need to look up there. And if you're the audio audience, you're like, shut up. Could you go back to talking about the show? I mean,
attention, radio listeners.
So yeah, it's so funny. I didn't even think about the fact that they found a parking lot. If it was Bakoima, it would have been believable. By the way, there's, I don't want to brag, but I did let Katie know that after our last show, I did head up to Silmar, jealous, and it showed Bakoima right there on the map, and I'm like, oh, if only I could have gone to God's country, to Bakoima. So Eric, what are some of your thoughts sort of in this? There's this frenzy, there's the sides coming in, juggling. I mean, I think out of everybody we know, Katie, Eric is the one who can relate the most to juggling, being a superhero, but also being a very important part of show business. So Eric, please tell us how you could relate.
I mean, this is why the hair is being worn, because I'm getting all the feels. And when I talk about this, I want to keep those feels alive, which my beautiful locks do. This episode is so fun because one thing and oddly enough, it's funny. It's like stuff I talk about. I'm teaching like 2 different sections of TV spec writing this semester. And one thing I keep talking about is sort of that tangible goal that speaks to who the character is, so that it's not just and then, which we all know is a bad thing in writing. Yes, and is good, and then bad. Therefore good, but also good. And what we have here is like, okay, It's just about we got a call back. Great. But someone got footage of us. Therefore, we got to go find that guy. But the sides came in.
It's the ticking
And
time bomb.
oh, and it's great. And the way it, like, episode 4, I'm gonna say it is easily one of the 5 best Marvel episodes we've had. I don't know if I can call it the best yet. but I
No,
think
because the top 4 are all episodes of Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Yeah, no, Secret Invasion, every episode ties for first place in my math.
Okay, actually, all right, that's fair. Yeah.
Especially the opening title credits. Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is why we have AI for disappointment. Yeah, that was a moment that AI was like, well, I think we're gonna be okay against the
We're
machine.
gonna be
When
all
you
right.
see that AI, like, I'm not afraid
But
of AI.
so yeah, you circled back to episode 4, but you're tidy up your thoughts on episode 5.
I'll do
Eric.
my best. So, episode 5, in the end of it all, not much they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Except then because he saved Slattery, right? Suddenly now it's like, oh shoot, like the cat's out of the bag. The first real superhero moment, I think you could say in some ways, like superhero, not superpower. We've had
Yeah.
those, but superhero, and seeing what he could do, and that notion of like, I didn't want to do that. And he could have done that earlier, which I also thought was great. Like he was like trying to talk it out. Yeah, I'm always a fan of using a body to hit another body. I love that
Yeah.
in video games. I love that in life.
Hey,
That's
That's not
how I roll.
That's what your wife says. Anyway, go on.
Hey, it's hard to whistle with the hair. But the added chaos, like a snowball going down a hill, for those who know what snow is, and not the kind of snow that Stevie Nicks prefers up her bunghole. Thank you. The moment that's a line from this episode.
It's a line
You'll
from
see
the
it.
show. I know, that's why I laughed, but you're right. We probably should have clarified as to what
Preface that. Yes. No.
According
Stevie
to
Nicks
Trevor
here.
Slattery, yeah.
Yes. But I think it also, I was laughing out loud a lot. Even little moments when they're like, what's our game? And he's like, oh, okay, we're investigating a scene. And all of a sudden, Ben Kingsley straightens up a little bit to get in
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
moment, I like flipped out over. And it was so small. And yet he is so brilliant in this. And I mean, I know people had issues with the not the Mandalorian, the Mandarin.
Mandarin.
The Mandarin.
Yeah.
But it was all worth it, if only for that moment there, much less the beautiful relationship between the two of them. So yeah, this episode I thought carried on for it. Didn't like 6 as much, but we'll get to that.
By the way, I think that some of the best retconning that has been done was the explaining away the Mandarin, because
Yeah.
there was the reaction of like, dude, the Mandarin's like actually like really cool. And yeah, Gandhi, might have seemed less cool. I have never seen a better typo in a chat than the one we just got from Daniel Drew. The whole Secret Invasion series counts as one episode of entertainment of some kind. I don't know what kind, but I'm sure it probably maybe is. Now, you meant counts,
No,
but I think that when we talk about that show,
Yes, Daniel Drew, lean into it.
I think Husey hacked into Daniel's account. That word will be flowing freely on Sunday.
if he did, hit the like button. That's what
like
Husey
and
always
subscribe.
By the way, Daniel points out the previous Marvel movie talk being so raunchy made sense since it was the 69th non-special episode of Marvel Movie Talk. So just the sort of the regular episodes. He keeps track. He also, Daniel, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think the legacy numbering back to Marvel Movie News, which was the earlier incarnation of this show. I don't know where we're at in legacy numbering. I'm going to trust Daniel. Although that I'm realizing that I've put a lot of pressure on Daniel, and I shouldn't do that. I thought he didn't even have time for our show today, but we're always
he can't quit us, and also he's our dramaturgy. Like that's the thing. Like Daniel is our history. He's basically a walking proof that we have existed. So we need to protect him at all costs.
At all costs.
Yes. No, we absolutely we appreciate all that.
Wonder Man telekinetically, ionically. Blah, anyone?
I'll give you my hair.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, no, I also love the fact that when we finally go into the apartment, which I'm pretty sure that was shot in Pasadena, because that structure that I feel like I've been in that house. It's like, it's one of those
Yeah.
like houses that like everybody has at least like 6 roommates in, and it's the walls were covered in things. I love that.
That's where you bought your candy back in the day, Katie?
Yeah, the chamoy covered candy. Yeah, or I mean tahine and chamoy.
Yeah,
chamoy.
please.
I love that they did that whole like operation as though it were a drug deal, but it's so Disneyfied. But it's just them making
Yeah.
candy.
It's
And he
like
was such a nice guy too. He's like, we
I
can
know.
work it out.
that is some real Disneyfication. It's like
love that.
when they took Kevin Smith's Clerks and very briefly turned it into an animated series. Jay and Silent Bob, who were drug dealers, they sold fireworks out back of the Quick Stop. So
Smart.
also illegal, but
like it's the soft version of illegal.
I do like sort of the cinematic nature of
Ugh.
some of the title cards, which is what our
Yeah.
visual audience is looking at right now. And I assume that's why you chose it, Eric. It
Mhm.
feels very much like a film from a bygone era, but also in a way reminiscent of some Glenn A. Larson or Quinn Martin productions. Some of the old TV series that I'm almost 50 and somehow I know these shows. But anyway, so we're dealing with this guy I like, by the way, the fact that even Simon doesn't know if a GoPro can go directly to YouTube. I would have thought it could. I don't know.
It depends which model you buy.
Yeah, it depends which model you buy, but I
Okay.
feel like that's another actor detail of just like
Yeah.
how much technology we have to know in order to upload things. So like it's almost like in the back of your mind going, wait, could I just shoot my audition on a GoPro and then just upload it automatically
Yeah,
for casting to see? Because like that would be so helpful. Like I feel like there was something in there with that. I could totally be projecting onto him, but I'm like, wait, is there?
I think the Jaden Esteban feud kind of we didn't really get to the bottom of it, but maybe we didn't need to because the door gets kicked in and people are looking for slattery. But I was kind of with Trevor when they're like, "I'm going to shoot your friend." You're like, "Yes, please do."
Yeah.
You know?
Can we also like just pointing out the Obey t-shirt that he has on?
Yes.
I mean, if you haven't seen Exit Through the Gift Shop, I highly recommend it. There's a lot more about just this image alone.
Yeah.
And not to mention, that's my dog's namesake right there. Fezzik.
Obey?
Fezzik is Andre the Giant. Obey. That's one thing he never has done once in his 7 years of my house.
Which
not
is part of
starting
that.
Yeah.
By the way, I make an offhand comment, and Daniel Drew gets right down to how this is legacy numbering episode 353.
He is our dramaturg.
We made a big deal about episode 200 of the earlier show, but we haven't celebrated a milestone in a while. All right, Daniel, this is on you. Let me know when we're getting close to 400. I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll probably just start renumbering with issue number 1. I think that's the way that usually works.
Could I go back one step with actually the moment leading into this where this kid's got the GoPro. He looks like a lesser biker gang member. And he escapes. And one of the reasons I really love that title is it was also the perfect use of an edit as a joke.
Oh yeah.
It's like, do you have super speed? No, we're taking my car. Cut. Boom.
Right.
And that was like, all right.
Did you like how I was
you're very good.
Yeah, ready VFX, take VFX. Boom, I did it. All right, we could run the truck for the Academy Awards, just you and me. We don't need
Christian in episode 21 could not have done that. At episode 353, nailing it.
Hey, wasn't good enough to be on the show back in episode 21. But anyway, I'm here now, and that's really the thing that matters. Nobody wanted me back then. But, when everybody leaves a company, all of a sudden, it's musical chairs. It's like, well, who likes Marvel? I do. And, that's how you end up on a show. Just stick around, everybody. That's something that Simon Williams could have learned. Think about how much a part of American Horror Story he could have been. Do you have anything different to add to Esteban? And I already forgot the other kid's name because
It's Julian. I can't remember. I might be wrong about that.
I just had it a second ago, and it was not Barnaby because that's an important character. Jaden.
Jaden. Oh,
Of
different
course.
Jaden.
Yeah. Did you say Jaden? I'm sorry. I
No,
think-
I said Julian.
Oh.
Yeah, I got it wrong.
All right, that's 10 demerits. I think you're up to.
Okay.
I think you're up to 60,000. So
I,
All
I said Moi-
right.
I said Moisha. I was way off.
yeah. Well, you know his name was Moishe because there was the moment where he said L'chaim. That's how you knew his name. Did you like that? I wish Brody
did
was
it.
here for that.
Listen,
Sing it for him.
you're a friend of the member of Tribe. Yes.
Yes.
Official format.
All right, I expect a membership card. So yeah, I mean, I thought that the interaction at the house was fun, was funny. Was it believable? Probably not. But I do love all the times where people are like, "Oh shit, you're the Mandarin." Everybody knows the Mandarin. I love
Best
these
running joke.
I by the way, I did like that Simon name checked an actual regular director of Law and Order, SVU, and Criminal
Yes.
Intent, Don Scardino. I don't think he's involved in this production in any way, but he has directed many hours of that show. And I hope that Simon referenced a real episode and they just, pretended that he was in it. But yeah, Sam Waterston always figures it out. I mean, that's really the takeaway on that. But I like that their cover was blown, which would, I think, have made that scene even more preposterous. That they were not
Cops.
cutting drugs. So they were not cops. They were not drug dealers. So things are not always what they seem.
Well, and
but-
also the little bit of backstory with him and his neighbor who we saw a few times.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
he's like, whatever her name was, Mrs. Gonzalez. She's like, Mrs. Gonzalez, I'm telling you, we're making candy. Like, and so now I want to see the episode before this of the fights between him and his neighbor. Oh yeah. So this is him chest out.
And
Yeah.
it's very like Bob's Burger style. Like they weren't allowed to sell candy at school anymore because it was like too hot or something.
Yeah,
Even though Tahiti is not that hot.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Well,
and at my school, we weren't allowed to bring garbage pail kids to school anymore because people were selling them. And
Oh, dude,
they-
the playground, that was our crack.
yeah,
That
was
and
actually
crack.
why they told parents it's like it's only one
Yeah.
step from selling drugs. And I'm like, but I mean, it's a guy whose head's blown up. His name is Adam Baum. I mean, it's actually many steps from dealing drugs. But
Erie Eric, I have 5 of those strewn around this house somewhere in the
Yeah, I don't think they're-
files.
I don't think they wanted to make fun of my name, but I don't know if they ever did one. But, let us know in the chat your favorite Katie garbage pail kid, and we'll share it. We'll share it in a future episode.
Katie 80.
God,
Did they ever
I
do
don't
that?
know. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel like I don't want to know what it is.
KDHD. I just came up with that right now.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if that's. I'll find one. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that we give episode 5 its due. And Eric wanted. This is why we have to go through the email because I would never have understood why I needed this, and I think I'm even bringing it up too late. But for our radio audience, scheduled in front of the fireside chat, tell them about what we're looking at here: the spicy candy.
So this is one of those quote unquote delicacies of LA, right? Is the chamoy candy. It's the micheladas. It's and by the way, it's
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
I cannot stand. I can
No, really?
I cannot. I want my candy. I want my spicy.
Oh.
I'm a little bit of a candy supremacist that way. I don't want it to mix with anything else. That's how I roll. And so the idea too, but what I will say, such a great detail because it's so LA. And then that joke about, wait a minute, Mandarin, you could do an ad for us. And then I was like praying that they were going to film that. Like I
I'm
want to see
sure
him plugging the candy.
They must have done something, like some behind the scenes or something. Like I hope that gets released at some point, but that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
But I like
There's still
again
time,
too
yeah.
that detail is so LA. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know if that candy. I've lived here so long now. I have no idea if that sells outside of this part of the country, but I know
Good
it
point.
sells huge in this part of the
Yeah,
country.
no,
And especially in the schools too, amongst
Yeah.
kids as well. And I know when I used to work for the YMCA, we had to confiscate a lot of candy because people were getting like acid reflux.
yeah.
Oh, and it gets on your
the
fingers, like the
Oh yeah. It's
uh,
like all fingertips are dyed red.
yeah.
Well, it'd be a shame if that candy went to waste, and I hope it didn't. That's confiscation. But we had Eric earlier. You referenced a fairly great line that was delivered, matter of fact, and I actually thought it was in the other episode, so that's why I didn't go to pull it when you said it.
All good.
But I feel like Stevie Nicks having Coke blown up her bunghole. Oh,
Just the
amazing.
amount of like British isms that he
Yeah.
uses in this episode, like when he says bollocks to the
Yeah.
kid
Yeah.
running off with the tape and all of this, so much fun. Even that the bar where we saw the Fezzik Obey shirt on.
Yeah.
That is a bar that is you can enter through a I believe it's a telephone booth. There's a couple of bars out here in LA that you can do that, and I was very drunk one night, but I like as soon as we went into that bar in like the show, I was like, oh, I've been there. I don't remember a lot, but I do remember having drinks. And it's a fun bar.
Yeah.
I remember my first 2 drinks. Beyond that, don't know.
Nothing much
I can't
else.
say.
Security footage.
So we do hear gunfire at the end of the episode. Who do we think is dead from the thugs looking for Trevor? Who, by the way, rightly so, owes them a lot of money. Let's be.
I don't think anyone. I mean, I would be surprised if we went back there and there's just bodies littered on the ground. I think it's most likely someone got nicked and that's about it.
Right.
I didn't get the sense that anyone would actually die. And by the way, those guys gave me total, like, was it the Tracksuit Mafia?
Oh, 100%.
yes,
yeah,
Like
it's-
yeah.
Right, and that's something I always love in comic books, right? The not even the B list or C list, like the Z list villains that are just
the
expendable.
the
within
Great
one
Lakes
panel.
Avengers of villains, basically.
And I love in the listing of drugs that he's given to Trevor Flattery, like he ends it with 2 pounds of sativa.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus.
And that was one weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like 1 day or something. Like, whoa. Pound is a lot of weed. I'm just putting that out there.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We will neither confirm nor deny.
Oh,
Hey,
I'll
kids,
confirm.
stay in school and eat spicy candy. So the setting up the next episode during the gunfight, they get the call. Von Kovac leaving tomorrow. So I love the notion that Trevor has to drive, and I think
And they haven't gotten any sleep.
Yeah, I know, just to set up the fact that Simon needs to sleep, I guess. And I don't think they really touch on the fact that, like, oh, is one of those deals where, like, using his abilities, maybe he needs a little nap. I feel like we've seen things like that in the past. But what are your thoughts on the perhaps lack of endurance of Wonder Man, Katie?
Lack of endurance in terms of
Well, he's so tired.
he is so tired.
There should be
because-
so much adrenaline. You're getting to do the part you want.
Right.
You go take a nap. We'll talk about it in
Yeah.
a minute. You take a nap at Von Kovac's house.
Yes, of course, but this makes a lot of sense because as an actor, the amount of emotional endurance you have to have just on the get up is a lot. And then coming from Pacoima, where he's having to explain to a lot of his family who's talking behind his back in a language he still understands, and then getting a call back. I mean, this is a huge thing. Like, the overwhelm is in the very first scene of this episode 5, is him talking to Slattery, just being like, no, this is too much. This is way too much. I can't go to this guy's house. Like, I can't do this movie. Like, what if I do get it? Like, then that's all, honestly, apart from like the actor's dream of booking a huge gig, the biggest fear is booking the gig and then having to do it, because it's like, oh, I had all of this like wherewithal to like withstand countless auditions. And they even have, I love that speech that they have in the bar in the beginning where he's like, we beat out thousands of people And that's so true. No matter what it is that you're auditioning for, no matter what, like even if it's for a commercial, there are thousands upon thousands of actors that they either look through or they just discard because they don't meet whatever requirements. So understanding that, like, he is tired at the beginning of episode 5 and he has whiskey, and Slattery is just like, hey, fill your cup. This is a good thing. This is a good moment. But that's also speaking to him celebrating too early on too many things, which is a big actor mistake, which is also one of those big actor mistakes that you make if you've been in the business too long.
It's also non-specific to actors. There may be some early celebrations in my rearview mirror where you thought things were lined up that, it turns out they weren't. But I never got offered a plum roll like the Mandarin. And I did wonder, I'm like, I feel like we're going to know more about that. And I did kind of like sort of seeing the lead up to it, that he is the Trevor that we hear talked about. And then he stumbles in and then he like realizes the part, like, this is a pretty amazing part. So Eric, you mentioned you didn't particularly like this episode. How'd you feel about this part, stepping into the Wayback Machine for the birth of fake Mandarin?
When also the idea that I guess that's Guy Pearce off camera. Potentially, and I kept waiting to see him appear in front of the camera, sort of de-aged. I don't know if he still has a little bit of that gut left over from the Brutalist or not. So maybe defatted, which is a great filter. I use it every day. I think what you're bringing up, Kate, too, the idea of like adrenaline, and I think that's what's so fascinating here. He is in an alley surrounded by guys with like weapons, severely outnumbered, and he has nowhere near the fear he does of this audition. And I love that detail. That's what makes Simon such a wonderful character, is he is so freaking human. And that idea of like, sometimes the worst thing is you get that thing you're actually trying to get. And now what do I do with it? So I think like all that is playing great. I love the idea that he's exhausted. This moment here, I also, one thing I really liked about this that made a lot of sense, besides the fact, again, Ben Kingsley in this, I really do hope they consider him for an Emmy, because there's so much he's doing in this show. But here he shows up.
The math. The math.
He shows up a mess, and that's when you realize that's really why he got the role. Because then it's like, no, you have him on a string now. You give him drugs or whatever else he needs, and he's yours. So him coming in like old school version of himself, that's just as much why he got that role as his ability to look good in a fake beard.
Yeah, because you stripped away all of the like the ego, the things like it is an unfortunate thing about people who are brilliant actors. If you ply them with alcohol and drugs, it is unfortunate, but like sometimes you get to the part that they've been hiding for so long because they have been worried, just like Simon has been worried about someone seeing their real self. And I love that Trevor basically says your real self is the hero. You are meant for this role. You are born to be this role, despite the circumstances of whether or not you've been born as a superhero.
Yeah, no, I think that you're both so insightful on that I'm just going to move on to the next thing, because I'm like, I literally can't add anything to it. So let's just, I want to get to the bottom of when you started hating this episode. Is it when they get to the house and it turns out all the other actors are there and they're going to be paired up? Or were you still on board at this point, Eric?
I don't know if I could say I hated this episode.
I'm pretty sure you said it.
I said I hated it?
No, you probably didn't. You
that
said
sound
like
it.
No, that's only when you're talking about Brody.
No, but he knows that. I lead with that. You know what my issue with this episode was, compared to everything else, this one felt the least tight of the 6 episodes so far. I thought I like this idea. I love the idea of you put them all in this like fancy mansion, and now it's like they're in a fishbowl with this weirdo director. It just went on a little long for me. I thought at some point I'm like, okay, I'm getting this. I did, of course, the Pretty Woman speech was fantastic. The payoff at the end is great. But I just thought, for me at least, I'm curious, Katie, what you thought about it because of your own I don't know if you've ever had to do this. God, I hope not.
Have you
not to
ever?
this
Did you ever
but-
dive into a monologue from Pretty Woman? during
I
that?
never did that, but I totally understand the impetus to do that because all I saw in this episode was an actor desperate to figure out what the director wanted.
Sure.
And instead of saying, this is what I want to see, it's more desperate for attention. And that is exactly what every single, and like that's what makes this episode so uncomfortable because it's a bunch of actors who are very uncomfortable and either not being realistic about it or improvising the wrong thing until we get to the dream improv. Oh, nummy, 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 nummy. Everything about this series and like there's so much respect for acting, and Ben Kingsley like talking on all these pieces honestly is like so wonderful to begin with. I'm not just saying that because I am an American actor who loves a British accent telling me how to act, but on top of the fact that like it's all going to like, hey, you need to accept yourself first before you try and project an image or project a character. And so many of these actors I love because they are a product of their circumstance. Like, oh yeah, I love the part where like Simon says, oh, he is a natural talent because the guy is
I did love that where he did it. He's like, damn you. Katie, we had an exchange very similar to this via text, but it does come down to only one important word. Acting! Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, the great Master Thespian by John Lovitz, and of course, my personal favorite installment of that recurring sketch was the one with John Lithgow as his mentor. Thank you. And I definitely get some real Master Thespian vibes from Trevor in particular, but there's other times during the course of that. Katie, you shared probably the most memorable or slash forget, or moment you'd want to forget from this episode. Talk a little bit about when we saw Simon just punch a hole through this guy's head, which I wasn't 100% sure it was a dream because I was like, oh, wait a minute. I thought I knew how I've seen images from other episodes. I thought I knew how this was going to go. And no, he just literally caves the guy's head in. But you had a fun fact about that, right?
So this is a detail like when he punches through it, everybody is just so shocked. Usually you're gonna turn away or whatever, but if you take a closer look, it's candy inside his head. It's not like viscera or anything like that. That is chamoy candy. Which I think is so brilliant because he's exhausted.
Yeah,
they just came from this insane scenario at this kid's house, and all he's thinking about is sort of like the fakeness of like how all these people are trying to promote their career, how they're trying to get this role, all of this stuff, and then his powers come through and punches through the candy, and I just want to applaud the design, the effects, everything, because this was exactly the gut punch we needed, I feel like, in this moment to break us away from sort of the schmaltziness of Hollywood and being surrounded in this mansion by all this stuff, all the things that Kovac says he loves and hates about Hollywood. Love that. And this is Simon's dream. This is dreams are something that actors pay a lot of attention to because it's your subconscious working things out. And so this dream is so much of Simon working with his actual like self and his powers. And how does that combine with the career that he really truly wants and really should be doing?
Yeah. Well, it's funny, Katie, I sent him the reverse angle of this moment, which is from his point of view.
He's pulling it out.
No, when he's punching in and it's just face arm. Yeah, and I actually, Christian, I had that same moment where for a few seconds I'm like, wait, I think that might have happened.
Right? Yeah. I didn't catch the candy, and that's
no
why the candy is there.
Well, because we were at Katie's house with her massive TV.
I know, right? You should come over.
Yeah, I was.
My invite I've been waiting for by the mailbox for years.
No, we came over that one time. Remember? We got to hang out. We got to talk to the Punisher.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
to a Punisher, I guess is
Uh,
how I should say that. Let's move along to talking about Ron Kovac, who the internet wants to point out is to not be mistaken with
The Superman
Ron
character.
Kovic. No, Ron Kovic,
Oh.
played by Tom Cruise in Born on the 4th of July. Because I'm like, yeah, I didn't think that, but thanks, Google. Thank you for making
I
sure
think
that
the real Ron Kovic. Well, no, he had a mustache, but I think his hair might not have been that far off.
well,
Or was he bald?
that might be true. And I'm gonna well, I don't know how well I'll be able to do, but anybody want to take a stab at saying the name of the actor? Go ahead, Eric. You've got nice hair, and so does he.
That's Zico Burek.
I'm gonna say Slatko Derek.
Nah, Zico Burek.
it's
No, I'm sorry. The correct pronunciation is Moishe Goldstein.
I
Moishe
see what you
Goldstein.
did.
You see, this is a callback.
Aha.
Yeah. So this is me getting around trying to say his name, but this guy's great. And we saw him in an earlier episode, but we really got to dive into him here. Does he not a specific person, but does he feel familiar to film people that you've both been around? I'll ask you first, Eric.
I mean, I would say Eastern European cinematographers. That's the vibe I get from him in terms of people I've met down the road from this type of guy. Maybe not quite as crazy, but just as intense, and would say something that seemingly has no sense to it, but you feel like, okay, I got to agree with this because it sounds meaningful. It sounds philosophical. So I better nod. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's a good point. And also, by the way, I feel like I could become this guy soon. I feel like I'm down the road.
Really soon.
Yeah, I mean,
like
3-4 weeks.
I was going to say, yeah, possibly by spring. And I'm sorry, what'd you say, Katie?
I just said I think this is what my hair looks like when I wake up in the morning.
We're renovating our house soon, and yeah, that's going to be me by the end of it. I assure you. If I'm,
but I also like that he says everything I both love and detest about Hollywood all at once. So I'm with Ron Kovac here, and you know, I've been waiting for his backstory as to why he's making this Wonder Man movie. You know, I mean, how much time in director jail did he spend? But it's fun to get the interactions with him, and we did talk about already how Simon just. By the way, he crushes that scene from Pretty Woman.
He really does.
Yeah, I mean, crap.
But it's also one of those things that is like, oh, you know this scene so well that you're just quoting it like not Kovac, Trevor and Simon were quoting each other like Shakespeare or and all that back and forth. It's so interesting too that like he also takes the actual like dining ware and crashes it because it's like that is a big risk. But that's a big risk that you want to take on your own words and not recreating something else.
Yeah, no, because if you found a real place, you've defined a character who's throwing things and doing that, you're probably going to get applause. But instead, he's like, "Oh, I think I saw you on the VHS box with Richard Gere." So we have to thank our friend, the great Eric Connor, for providing us with that.
ChatGPT was really protective of the original Pretty Woman poster, so this took a couple minutes more work than AI would allow me, unfortunately. So I had to evolve. Yeah, they're very protective, like when it's an existing piece of property for some reason. But
weird.
I'm right, but I'm here for this movie, by the way. Richard Gere.
Yeah, actually, so am I. I feel like he'd crush it. We know how good he is. Is that. We do get a lot of reflection of, what people don't understand is on the days you can see through the smog, Los Angeles can actually be very beautiful. And, the smog that we live with now is nothing compared. Like if you see movies that are filmed in LA in like the 90s, you're just like, are they in a cigar bar? Oh, no, they're in a parking lot outside of Jack in the Box, actually. But I think that we get a lot of reflection from Simon, just sort of realizing, I sure did do a scene from Pretty Woman. But Are there more things as this goes along that why this one did not speak to you, Mr. Connor?
And again, I think it's just if this was like a 15-minute episode, maybe. Although I understand one of the beauties of this storytelling is like they let things really go and marinate, and we were talking about before, like, I get this sort of real timeness of it all. The idea of like we feel trapped in this beautiful mansion with him, with them. So I on that hand, I get it. Like mentally, I get the choices. I love the payoff. But I found myself for the first time of any of these episodes looking at my watch a little bit. And I can't say that was the case with any other episode. So again, is it a bad episode? No. Again, we've seen bad Marvel. We've lived through it. We survived.
We've already said its name, and we're not even supposed to say
speak its name. And we've seen episodes that were just filler. This is not that. Sure. This is definitely not a filler episode. I just think after the brilliant 1-2 punch of episodes 4 and 5, this one felt maybe a little muted compared to those. But then again, the payoff, and I respect the fact that it really is a TV series.
Would you go so far? Yeah. Would you go so far as to say, Bolf, that it was a bit of a stumble? Do you think
a slight stumble, but corrected its footing at the end, like the iPad, and was able to move on.
Ivan says the Trevor and Simon scene at the balcony was one of my favorite scenes of the whole show, honestly. And the fact that Eric's talking about how he was checking his watch, Ivan Soto turned on you. You're not worthy of the Trevor wig now. LOL.
It's not Daniel, a wig, it's a weave.
Sorry, Ivan is coming for you. Daniel's not coming for you. But Ivan,
I'm right here, Ivan. Me and my Tremoya right here waiting for you, baby.
He's gonna snatch that wig is what he's gonna do.
Expect to see them in a boxing ring in Las Vegas, Nevada sometime between April 10th through the 12th at the Plaza Hotel.
Promo code Bears.
Thank you. Yes, promo code Bears. I appreciate that. I don't get to mention promo code Bears on this. This is the one show. I think I have mentioned it before, but I don't mention it, let's just say, nearly enough. I think that people are clamoring for promo code Bears, and Katie's like, no. The hell are you talking about? Nobody actually wants that. What in the Sam Hill are you talking about? And the question, of course, being some more of Eric's fine work. We're talking about an upcoming event in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go to hackamania.com and you can buy your tickets for Hackamania April 10th through the 12th in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And if you use the promo code Bears, not only will you save 10%, but my co-host for Who Are These Broadcasters may or may not, still trying to sell a couple more ducats, as they say. He may be able to join us there, but we'll see what happens. But it'll be a fun weekend in Vegas, and Ladastro is late for a very important date
in honor of Brody. Brody's not here, so we got.
Brody did it every time too. Brody's like, I can't stop now, which is why we love Brody. He's like, he's always committed to the bit. So,
Christian, can I ask Katie a question? Katie, how you been?
Sure, yeah.
Hey,
how you doing?
Okay, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So what have you had an audition anywhere? I mean, obviously this one in episode 6 is next level Meshuggah, as your people would say. But have you ever had one that was kind of that nuts where you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why am I here all day? Why is this director not using a hairbrush?
Right. Yes, but only in the inverse reality. In that it wasn't in a mansion. It was actually in a donut shop off of Crenshaw. And it was for a movie, and they asked me to come audition. I was checking because I had MapQuest at the time, and I was like, why am I being led to a donut shop? Off Crenshaw. And I went in and I was like, does anyone know about this address? Like, I'm not really sure what's going on. And there were 2 guys in the booth, one with very obvious plugs in his hair, and like another guy. And they were like, oh yeah, that's the audition for us. Come on in. And so I got into a booth, and then the other guy like slid in next to me and like kind of trapped me, and they gave me the sides. and they want me to do this scene, and I'm like in the middle of a donut shop, and I'm having to do this scene, and they're like, like you could feel it more. You could do more with this or whatever. And so I do a Simon Pretty Woman almost moment where I go full balls to the wall. I'm like into it. I'm yelling and whatever. And the guys are like, you can't do this. You can't do this. This is a donut shop.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah, right?
As the meme
it got very weird. I ended up politely declining their offer to join their production that went from a movie to a stage show. And they wanted me to do full frontal nudity. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Gotta go.
But not at the donut shop. That part would have been at a bagel store instead.
I was trying to find the episode number.
Amazing.
But on my personal podcast, the Blackcast, because I'm here to just plug my other projects today, apparently, BLADTCAST. But listen, so my one of the founding members of that podcast, my buddy Will Sterling, has been a working actor for a long time. And he had a story about auditioning for one of the greats, Tommy Wiseau, the auteur responsible for Room.
No.
And it was a project that he ultimately decided to not be a part of. Will, not Tommy. But he thought that he was so well polished, he called him Pro. So he's like, "Oh, all right, Pro," and would just and it was one of those things where like I don't want to work with this maniac, but it's Tommy Wiseau, and if you're not familiar with The Room, well, shame on you, but take the time. You can't, once you start, you can't stop watching though. You have to finish. Yeah. You have to follow it through to the end, because then you'll understand.
No, you won't.
No, you understand why people talk about it.
But it's an ending.
Well, then, yeah.
When also too, and if you do go see it, when people yell, if you see it in the theater, when people yell Alcatraz, that is me. That was my contribution to the universe of The Room. I also yelled it out during Room. Didn't quite land as well.
That's weird. The Brie Larson movie. Yeah.
For some reason, throwing spoons at the screen for that one didn't play.
But it goes all the way back to when you were a kid and you yelled it out during Romper Room. So you see, there's just a little bit of everything all
Nailed
together.
it.
By the way, Ivan says, I really need an answer as to whether the woman was wearing shoes or not. I was with Simon on that. Yeah, we never actually find out, do we, Katie?
No, we don't. And like, if nothing else, like her just walking in those like flowy pants and not responding is like the most assistant to a director that I've ever seen.
And the mild disdain.
Right. Oh yeah, the constant disdain. I mean, it's never wavering. The disdain that she provides.
It might have been her shoes out there. It might have just been Kovac walked in some poo and left the shoes outside. We don't know, but him overthinking the shoes is 1,000,000,000% a very Hollywood.
And by the way, congratulations to everyone who had wagered on Polymarket that we would get poo as opposed to poop, shit, excrement, or fecal. That was our first poo of the day. So congratulations to everyone. So it ends up that they'll both be in Wonder Man, which I think we could all see coming. But I'm excited for Simon and Trevor. But unfortunately, we do have to remember Trevor's in the pocket of the bad guys. And I thought that was an important scene where, the damage control guy's boss is like, I really hope we can keep you around. So hopefully you get something, and that is where we end it. So where are your feelings in this moment, Eric? Is Trevor going to betray his only friend? Simon's only friend. They're their only friends. It's kind of like what people say about me and you, Eric.
Our only friends account, though, is not one you want to click on. I promise you.
That's also true.
It's the darkest of the dark web. I think it's going to climax with that scene they were practicing about "You're my only friend." I feel like that's going to be the climactic scene of their friendship in this show. I did at one point think maybe this wasn't a real movie. Like I was like at one point I was like, are they just like Argo? Yeah, like they're smoking him out or something. But it seems like it could be a fair amount of work to do for just smoking him out. But I think I can't imagine like and I will say it will break my heart if he does turn on him. If he
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
like turn Simon over, I think that would be
But
I couldn't
think
handle that.
His intentions are so clearly like, I'm trying to fuck over the DODC with all of this so that I
Yeah.
can get my bag too. And like, I love how he's like, I just need a little time because I feel like he's not training him to be a better actor because Simon's already a good actor, great
Yeah.
actor even. He's training him to be a good superhero.
Yeah. And a good
And, like,
man. I think that's the
yeah.
thing too. It's like how to
He's the
be kind of like an adult.
Yeah.
Because there's something childlike about Simon in some, over the course of
Because
the
I mean,
storytelling.
as far as we know, I mean, do we know when we lost his father? Do we know that? Do we know what age?
I don't know
No,
if they specified that actually.
I don't know if we
Yeah, I don't
get
either.
into that.
Okay.
So we will hopefully have all of our questions answered when we dive into episode 7 and 8, the finale of hopefully what is only season 1. I would love the 6 seasons in a movie of Wonder Man. This is my vote for. It's like, well, there's only one Marvel show we're going to continue with, and prior to this, I might have said Ms. Marvel, but now I need more Wonder Man, and we will get it. And join us. Well, I was going to say early, but it's not that early on the East Coast. Join us before the big game kickoff, the Super Bowl kickoff. We'll be talking at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific about episode 7 and 8 on Saturday, February 8th, which is my 50th birthday.
Yeah.
I will use that occasion to remind people that this channel is monetized and we do accept super chats. So that would be the time. And as I will tell you then, if you want more of me on February 8th and you want to watch neither Bad Bunny nor Kid Rock or just not the Super Bowl at all, I'll be doing my 3rd annual Super Bowl halftime show as part of Who Are These Broadcasters on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. You will find there myself, my co-host Eric Zane, and special guest Dennis Miller, halftime at the Super Bowl. I have more plugs, but I know that you two might, and I know Eric, you have to run. So what are your final thoughts here? Your Jerry Springer final thought for everyone.
Well, I thought that during the halftime show you were going to cover Kid Rock's "Grit Sandwiches for Breakfast" album. That's what you had promised me.
No, that's behind the
cracker
paywall.
cracker.
That's why you have to become a Patreon member.
That's promo code BEARS. This bear, even though I was not as into episode 6, I have been so into the show. I'm so excited to see where it goes. And also you have asked the patience of saints from us to not jump ahead. And I'm proud of Katie and I. I'm not proud of Christian, but I'm proud of Katie and I for abiding and waiting.
You notice that Brody's not here this week or this episode.
I'm not proud
cut
of
him
her,
loose. Son of a bitch, he couldn't restrain himself.
No, and if it was here, I wouldn't be proud. So in the end of it all, I'm so excited to watch these last 2 episodes.
Same.
It might have to be a late night watch tonight. I'm going out with Lauren to Largo, fancy Largo tonight. Nick Offerman.
Love it.
Darling, you're going to Largo.
Largo.
So when I come home at like midnight, I might have to put these on because I just can't wait anymore. But it's been fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna X out of the stream, maybe even this second. No, I'm gonna X out of the stream, and then I'm gonna watch then. And Ledestro, you're just not listening. So Super Bowl Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. We'll be talking about episode 7 and 8. So that is what you need to know. Eric, please go with God. Or
Katie, I'm gonna go to a donut shop right now.
Please do check and see
your
for the
honor.
hair plug guy. Yeah.
I know him. He'll be the guy reflected in the door when I walk in.
All right. And Eric, the next time you see me, I'll be 50, but he's gone now, so it doesn't matter. Katie, I did talk a lot about myself, but because I teased this, I do want people to know that they can very easily find Blackcast number 259, which was one of the only compilation episodes we ever did. I took Will's story about Tommy Wiseau from an earlier episode and combined it with another story that our friend Liev had from an episode. Oh, wow. But his Tommy Wiseau story is honestly, for fans of The Room, which means people who hate watch The Room, it's worth it. And for people who are enjoying that side of Wonder Man, please check out Black Cast number 259. Just Google it, you'll find it. But Katie, please, I have promoted so many things. Take as much time as you want.
Thank you so much. And I'm full screen too. You can always check me out at the Napping Through Happy Hour podcast that I do with my good friend Marie. You can also check out Christian Cringe, which I do with Matt Kelly, who's on every other show besides Marvel Movie Talk. And we just started up every month a live stream show called The Tutorial Guild. If you're into the Matt Dinniman book series, Dungeon Crawler Carl, I cannot recommend it enough. We've got really great original art, original songs and stuff for that show. We're already gearing up for March 1st. That's going to be our next show. So check me out. I'm all over Geekscape. You can find me at L Sassy Pants.
Thank you so much, Katie. And of course, Katie and I are both part of Geekscape News. I think we still haven't done one together. I think I just said that the other day. You and I have not been paired up yet, but I've been having fun with James. I did one with Matt Kelly, and every day, short form, not like this show that goes on and on. We really try for 15 minutes. I think the Grammy recap was like 17 and I was ashamed, but we'll make up for it. The next
I'm
one
actually
was
kind of surprised it was only 17 minutes.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, and I kept trying to talk about Cher, but I think he got in the way. I'm sorry.
He's like, I'm gonna let you finish, but
I was gonna let you finish, but Ivan Soto.
Deep Space Nine was big in Star Trek, huh, Christian? Starfleet Academy did a massive episode about it. Yes, Deep Space Nine is referenced in a lot of Star Trek. And if you haven't already, you should definitely check out Trek, Marry, Kill, one of the other Geekscape hosted podcasts run by our good friend Brian Murphy, who is a Star Trek aficionado and rates all the episodes.
Deep Space Nine. This is going to be a hot take. So, obviously, original series, TNG, in the third spot, DS9, hands down. I don't even have to think about it. I loved Deep Space Nine. I liked that it was a little different. It was like, no, we're on a space station. And, they kind of tweaked it a little bit.
Christian, have you watched Lower Decks?
I haven't.
There's so many good episodes, and especially they have a big love for Deep Space Nine.
It's there's only so much that I can get to, but look, I'm not sworn off it forever. I'm not caught up on Starfleet Academy, and Ivan keeps kind of peeking in. Ivan, if we gave you an episode list for a previous Star Trek series, would you watch them? We're not going to do it right now, but I have some recommendations. And I don't know if you'll ever recover from Inner Light, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll be like, yeah, it's like grade school.
But how many lights are there?
I think you know the answer, Katie.
4!
This is the most Ivan Soto answer that we could ever get. So we could take the time to put together a watch list, and you don't say yes, you don't say no, you say maybe. Well, you know what, Ivan? Maybe we'll make it.
Maybe we won't.
We hope you enjoy. We hope to be joined by everyone. I think it'll be me, you, Eric, and Brody, and we'll see if we can get anybody else to join us. And we might do more than one episode about Wonder Man as a whole, because I know a lot of people want to talk about it. But our wrap up will be on my birthday, so
come celebrate his 50th.
Yeah, if anybody's wondering, where are you listed for birthday presents? Cash money. All right, so
list your Venmo up there.
That's actually a great idea.
I used to do it for Internet Supreme Court. I used to put up my Venmo QR code.
I'm like, I'm not going to do it now, but there'll be time for.
I'll teach you how to do it. Because you know
all right. Yeah, I know. And you got to teach me how to do the streaming. That's all the time we have for now. But as the great Stan Lee would say, Excelsior! Thank you.